Yep, you saw the title. We're going back to Alabama. So I think it was about a week ago, Anna, my wife, got her a formal offer for a PhD program back at Auburn under the same advisor she had for her master's degree, and she decided to accept it. She that At that point she hadn't gotten offers from anywhere else, and there were some other programs she was seriously considering, but she has a good relationship with her advisor, and she knows exactly what to expect when it comes to that dynamic, which is apparently a big thing when it comes to PhD programs, is the dynamic between the student and the advisor, and sometimes that's not good, and that can make things difficult and stressful and everything else. So that, and the money was comparatively very good. So that's a huge weight off of both of our shoulders, and kind of the addition of a new weight, because now we have to look for another house, which has never not been frustrating because we've always done it remotely from another state. But at least we know where we're moving, which is a big thing for me, because now I can start looking at job markets. Well, actually not just markets, but market singular, because I'm only going to be looking in one town and its kind of surrounding area. Like I've said in the past, kind of the downside of Auburn is that its population is very small. Like, let's look at it compared to Tampa. Town that I grew up in, 132,000 people. Good sized city. Tampa, 385,000, where I'm currently living. Auburn, Alabama, 63,000. So it's like a sixth as large. And Tampa is a big city that happens to have a university. Auburn is a city that exists because of the university. So there's not a lot happening outside of the university compared to places like Tampa. So that's going to make things challenging for me. I'm gonna kind of have to hedge my bets on getting a job at the university. If that doesn't happen, then there might be a big likelihood that I'm gonna have to commute to Montgomery every day, which is what I did when I went to AUM, the first university I went to. And that's rough. That's 50 minutes to an hour, depending, one way. But if you got to do what you got to do. But hopefully it doesn't come to that. But at least, like I said, now I know where we're going to be living, which is pretty sweet, because this has been something that's been up in the air for literally 2 years. Because she decided as soon as she graduated with her master's degree that after her fellowship was done, she wanted to go right back to school. So Anna is usually the one that looks for houses. That's still the case now. I think she's gotten a couple promising looking houses. We have to be kind of picky because we need a fenced-in yard for the dog. Otherwise, it's a nightmare to have to walk him every time he goes outside, because he spends a lot of time outside of his own choice. And so that would be a hassle without a fenced-in yard. So that really limits where we can live, and we really hate apartments because we've had bad experiences with that, and at least in Alabama. Just not about it anymore. I feel like we've graduated beyond that, no pun intended. So that's been the big thing the past couple weeks. And I've just been grinding away. Work is all right. It's work, it's minimum wage administrative stuff. So nothing really to speak on there. I'm putting in 18 hours a week there, minimum, sometimes more. And my classes are work heavy, just like I thought they would be, and homework coming out of my ears and all of this other stuff. And I'm still tutoring privately, which I'm kind of debating giving that up. I don't know yet, but got a lot of irons in the fire, and I don't know. It's hard to say whether that's really necessary. I mean, do I really need to be working this much? Technically, probably not. But one of my biggest fears in this era is graduating and not being able to immediately find a job. That is, a minor thing that can really, really quickly turn into a major thing if you don't have a savings account with money in it. I guess at this point, I'm willing to grind myself to a pulp to ensure that our savings account is healthy enough so that if I have trouble finding a job in 1, 2, 3 weeks, then it's not going to be a big deal. So that takes a good bit of money, several $1,000s to kind of readily put yourself in that position. So that's what I'm trying to do now, because I do not want to be jobless and homeless. That'd be really ruin the vibe of moving back to Alabama, which we're both really looking forward to because we like it a lot. Small town pace really suits us. Hopefully I'm going to be, this is kind of sustainable, but yesterday I was in the middle of this essay for my political theory class, which I'm still in the middle of. And Anna walked into the room and said, you graduate in 90 days. And I was like, shit, that's true. The semester is already a quarter over somehow. 90 days. I feel like I can do just about anything for 90 days. Did boot camp for 90 days. Considerably more taxing than this. So I'm going to try and make it happen. Yeah, I thought I'd pop by. I know I haven't made a video in a minute, a couple weeks, but it's been wild over here. I don't have time to do any of the things any outside hobby type things. And I feel like it's kind of ironic that I only want to do things, hobby type things, when I don't have the time for them. I would really love to go to some state parks that I haven't been to yet in Florida because I'm trying to check off as many as I can before we leave. I haven't had time to read. I found a new graphic novel series that I like a lot called East of West. And I just ordered the first installment of the omnibus, and I don't have time to do any of this stuff. And 3 months ago I wasn't really pleasure reading at all, and now I'm just like, that's all I can think about. It's like, oh, can I find an hour to read this? But I don't know. It is what it is. Make sacrifices now so you can live better later. Time preferences. It's all about time preferences, dog. But I think that's more or less it. Just wanted to pop in to mention these very exciting things. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.